Have you ever been sold something and you just felt pressured, or afterward you felt a little bit slimy? Or, you wake up in the morning, or even worse, in the middle of the night, and you go, oh, what have I done?
Moving forward with the DekkerTeam. Moving forward together with the DekkerTeam.
Welcome to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the DekkerTeam, and I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And really, we come together and we welcome you back, and we thank you for continuing to join us, because you're the one that actually makes the dialogue rich and wonderful. And we all deserve tools, techniques, and thoughts around how do we make our house the home that we really desire it to be, and how do we come together and we're working on growing our wealth through real estate. And we love that we get to partner with you in doing that. So that's what we've continued to do on over 367 episodes. It's growing, and we love being able to do that with you. So today, Ken, no more slimy feeling.
No, we're really talking about the difference between a consultant and a salesperson. Because people love to buy. Maybe you love to buy, but you don't like to be sold.
Right.
And so one of my questions is, are consultants more expensive than salespeople?
Right. So today we're going to look at what do consultants offer versus what do your traditional sales presentation, what does that look like, right? What are the cons and pros? The cons and pros of each situation. And I think we're probably going to side on that the learning we got over 30 years ago when we went in, 40 years ago when we went into sales is very different than what we would perceive would make a great salesperson today.
Yeah, what we learned 40 years ago?
Right.
For sure.
Because it really was what I would call a sales presentation, a sales pressure, sales.
Well, it was called features, benefits, then close, and overcome objections, right? That's the sales process.
It was.
Well, no, that still is the sales process.
Right. And the consultation process is much more, and that's what we're going to explore today. What is it? How is it different? And so does it cost more? Well, it can. Some consultants are highly paid, and it can be a very expensive conversation, and yet it's more a style of how we work in the real estate industry versus necessarily paying a high ticket for that consultation.
So I could sum it up in one sentence.
Okay, could you?
Which really then the show would be really short. But I think maybe we'll be able to unpack it if I sum it up in a one sentence. Okay. So a consultation is all about you, the client, the customer, getting your needs met, finding out what's valuable to you. And a sales presentation is all about the salesperson, what they offer, what the product is, what the process is. And it's very little, if anything, about the client.
So that was like three sentences.
It was.
So one sentence is a sales presentation. I think if I can get this right. A sales presentation is about the product and the services that the service provider provides or the product seller provides. Mm-hmm. And a consultation is about what does the person you're serving need? What are they actually looking for, and how do we as the sales server, actually help you move toward that dream? Mm-hmm. What you want, what you need.
Yeah, exactly. So we've had some situations. I think, one of our clients had us in one time.
About 23 years ago, this particular one I think we're thinking about, right?
Yeah, it was.
And Bill called us and he said, my life has changed. My life has changed. I need to sell my house. Mm-hmm. The job that I had that I thought was fantastic, I no longer have.
Yeah, and we were in the middle of a change in the real estate industry.
Yes, because he was in the building industry.
Yeah, and it was a period where the market was poor. In other words, there were not very many buyers. Sellers were actually reducing their prices back in 94, 95, 96.
Yeah.
And builders stopped building because,
Spec houses for sure.
well, spec houses for sure. There
And
was
spec
the,
houses were just speculation on that someone would buy it when the time came.
Yeah, and when there's too much inventory, builders don't want to build speculation properties. They want to build only when someone gives them a firm contract to buy.
Right.
So his industry was slowed down significantly.
Right. And so we went in, and I'm sure what he thought we were going to do was just kind of push him to get his house on the market. Like, let's get it sold, because he said, I have to. I have no choice.
Because after all, we make money when people sell, right?
Right. We do. And there's no income when they don't, or unless they're buying or investing. And he was shocked when the session turned into a consultation and a strategy session on how could we keep him in his house.
Yeah.
How could we help him create a business? And we promoted it as business in our community newsletter, which we've been doing since, it's been around since 1989. So for 30 years, the Bearer newsletter, which you can still get electronically online today. And it has small businesses in it, events, and it's pretty neat. So we put his business in there, and which he didn't have until we sat down with him. And then all of a sudden, he had a business. We helped him have a business, and he stayed in his house.
Yeah, 23 years later, he's still in that house.
And his little girl, which is such a cool thing, he was shocked at the time, because we were doing flyers for him and promoting for him, and we actually had some work we were doing in the Citizen, and we paid to promote his business in that.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
I do, because I was the one that was doing the majority of that strategy session with him, and then you helped me. We all came together. And his little girl was just 6, 7 years old at the time. And then 22 years later, she ended up buying a home with Candice, our daughter, who was a little girl then. They were both little girls together. And actually ended up purchasing a home that we had for sale, which, who knew?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that when you do the right thing in a consultation approach, it actually doesn't always work out quite like that. However, it always works out best because it works out for the person you're serving.
And I know that I've gone into sales presentations knowing that they're a sales presentation.
Right, like a timeshare. Or,
Yep. And you go in and, they kind of bribe you to go.
Right. They offer you something.
Yeah, that's a bribe. It's an exchange. That's what a bribe is. They pay me for my time to go. They say you can go for 1 hour and we'll present the changes to the hotel or the new systems. And we know they want to upgrade us, and they're attempting to sell us.
Yeah.
And we trade that hour of our vacation time, right, for an extra dinner, a romance on the beach or whatever, right? So what happens though in a no pressure information session is that it sometimes runs 2 hours, and
or
then
3.
you start to get angry.
Oh, I do.
Because they promise it in an hour, they promise us no pressure, and when we're on the third person who's trying to still sell us, and we're 3 hours in, then it gets a little...
Right. So the big difference really between a consultation and a presentation is you're likely never going to feel pressure in a consultation. You're going to feel that your questions are getting answered, that you're getting served, versus in a sales presentation, there's going to be times where the little hairs on the back of your neck may be standing up. You start perspiring and you're not quite sure what's going on. And we don't ever want that to happen to you, especially in the realm of real estate. We can't control car buying and timeshares. However, we can ensure that it doesn't happen in a real estate conversation. So if you're thinking, I want to make sure I only have consultations from now on, reach out to us and we'll have that conversation on a one-on-one, first on the phone and then face-to-face, to make sure you are moving in the direction you want to move.
Moving forward with the DekkerTeam. Moving forward together with the DekkerTeam.